Oh, how's it going, folks? Good to see you again. Man, another good day. Well, it's the same day actually, but you know, whatever. Anyways, got a quick ride. I gotta get somewhere real quick. I gotta get to a meeting, so we gotta book it to the car. So let's get into it. All right, so admittedly, when I say like book it, I don't have to like pedal as fast as we can. If we had to do that, I wouldn't even be on here recording right now, because man, I do that from time to time where it's like I gotta get there and I'm like way late and I'm like pedaling and I'm like borderline dying. Anyways, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, that last episode, you were worried that the stuff you were running through was poison ivy. Was it? I don't know. It's a good question. It's actually the same day, just a couple hours later that I'm recording this, so I actually don't know. But I'll tell you what, we'll find out and you'll be updated in a future video. But I figured I definitely got to record this one, because if I get that, I'm not going to record for a bit. And the reason for that would be because the last time, so I'm like mega allergic to poison ivy. And the last time I got it kind of like 80% of my body. Like it was all of my arms and chest and back and legs, and it was a mess, right? But you know what's even worse is that when you start to get better and you think like, oh, I'm not itching like crazy anymore, and then you start to work and it's hot out and you start to sweat, oh, that itchiness is god awful. Absolutely god awful. And there's no way I'm riding a bike to do that, to, well, feel more miserable. I can't remember if the last time I rode through here, if we recorded a video or not. I think we did. I think I was out here for dinner or something. I don't remember what I was out here for actually. But I remember being out here, and I could have swore we rode out through here and recorded a whole video about it. Maybe not. I honestly don't remember, guys. I'm so far behind on uploading these videos. When I'm recording this one, I'm pretty sure I have like 8 to post before this one even goes up. Like that's how far behind I am. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, honestly, because I mean, my goal with this is to be, when I'm consistent, like 1 to 2 weeks ahead. And that's it's mostly due to like, hey, you know, let's say we just have really shitty weather, or if I get sick or something comes up that you know, I'm not able to get out and record like the bike ride, or I'm not able to take the time to edit up the video. That way it's like, okay, well, I can take this week off and then I'll just play some catch up next week, right? So that's the reasoning for that, is to keep the continuity up. That's the intended goal. Has it been the actual application? No, not really. I'm not gonna lie. Like I haven't been great about that. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I think that I will try to I'll try to keep this however many weeks ahead, because at the end of September I'm actually getting married. So, you know, got to take a week or 2 off for the wedding and the honeymoon and such. So it might be good to stay ahead. So I'll tell you something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that's this idea of a culture of safety, right? That everything's got to be safe. You know, you can never have your feelings hurt. You can never have physical hurt. You can never, like, you can never fail. You can never have to deal with that. We always have to make sure everybody's never offended, nobody's ever hurt, that there's no risk of failing, you know, there's no risk of harm, you know, like really kind of wrapping everybody in bubble wrap and everything. And that bothers me. And look, it started with my generation, right? I mean, I guess the baby boomers and Gen X, who raised the millennials, which is the generation I'm in, that's where it all started. And I think it's a big problem, because, you know, I mean, failure is part of life, right? It's one of the basics of life. You're not going to succeed in everything that you do. And it's unreasonable to assume that everybody is going to get along all the time forever. I mean, look, we can tolerate each other, that's fine, but you're not going to be friends with everybody. That's unrealistic, absolutely unrealistic. And kids know that. I mean, kids, the funny thing is that, like, as little kids, they're like, we don't like them, so they don't talk to them. As they get older, it's always, but don't hurt their feelings, which, again, on some level is a noble thing of, hey, be polite, be nice, but don't hurt their feelings. I don't know, again, to the extent of, hey, don't be an asshole, kid, you know, like, that makes sense. But to the extent of, make sure you never hurt anybody's feelings, or, oh, don't do that, don't take that risk, don't do this because you might get hurt, you know. Again, if it's like a kid who's about to put his hand on a stove or something, then yeah, by all means, be like, don't do that, you're gonna get hurt, right? And you'll see, like, a lot of people will, when their kid's about to touch a stove or something, they like hit their hand, like slap it out of the way, and the kid's upset because they're like, why did you just hit me? And it's like, well, it didn't really hit you. Again, I don't have kids, this is just stuff I've witnessed, but you know, it's like, I didn't hit you, I just smacked your hand out of the way, because that small amount of pain that you just registered there is going to be much less than that pain that you would have felt if you would have put your hand on that fucking stove. And beyond that, with the, I mean, I know it's the popular thing of like, oh, everybody gets a trophy. Yeah, that's a big problem. Like, it really is, right? That, hey, you didn't fail. All that matters is that you tried your hardest. No, that's not all that matters. If you're playing a game to win and you lost, that matters. However, is that the only thing that matters? No. And maybe that's the way that we should phrase that to kids is, you know, not so much a, that's all that matters, but hey, you know what matters more? Since you did this, you thought about this, and you went this way, and that you learned from this, and that you're going to be stronger next time. Maybe that's the better way to frame it, rather than, hey, don't worry about it, nothing like that matters. I don't know, what do you think? I could be wrong. This is all just me kind of like free rolling with it. Like, I mean, as you know, I don't script these out at all. These are just, this is on my mind. I talk about it to figure my own shit out up here. You know, we also look at it of, you know, I mean, the idea of trigger warnings and everything, I mean, that's been proven for basically 10, 20 years that no, those don't actually help. That actually could make things worse. But yeah, we keep insisting on those because, again, we don't want anybody to experience anything. And we call everything trauma now, which is bothersome as well, because it's like some serious shit that people go through that, I mean, it is traumatic, but now we're all like, somebody said something mean to me and I was upset by it. I took it personally and that was a traumatic experience. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not, right? Like, come on. I really don't think anybody who even says that actually believes that. For a while, there was the whole words or violence thing, which, I mean, look, again, you know, as kids, again, it was sticks and stones would break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I mean, now, then it, like, the same kids who were told that called mean things are said about them that they didn't like. It was upsetting, and maybe it was truly awful what was said, but is it traumatic, right? I mean, the whole words or violence thing, it's like, okay, the one way, I mean, I've heard a few comedians say this too lately, which is great because it's honest, it's true. The whole way to tell if that's bullshit is like, okay, grab somebody by the collar, pull up your fist, say words or violence. Which one? Everybody's gonna fucking pick the words. They don't want to hit the face. I mean, come on, right? Like, it's obvious, but what sucks is that, like, you can't say these things. I mean, you can, but like, oh, you say this and oh, you must be a supporter of insert whoever here, or oh, you must also think this then, so you hate these people. It's like, no, none of those things actually. I'm just sitting here being like, toughen the fuck up. Like the whole thing of that, there's some book, and I don't know what book it was, but I really got to read it because this quote's been going around a lot, and now you have people mocking it like, oh, one of those people that says that. It's like, well, is it wrong though? Like, is it actually wrong? Are you really that smart that you know better than what has been passed down realistically and arguably as like wisdom for thousands of years, right? I mean, think about it. There's a reason that way back when all these ancient civilizations really liked toughness, physical strength, mental strength, all these things. What people forget is that all of these old, like the Romans, the Greeks, all these folks, and I mean, it's not perfect, right? I mean, the Greeks are iffy, I guess, but when you look back at ancient philosophies, a lot of these folks, a lot of the philosophers that are quoted, all were like, hey, you need to train your body. Like, you need to be tough. Like, you need to be tough physically and mentally, and you need to be smart. You need to think about shit, because that's the only way that things are actually going to get better. But now we kind of go the opposite of that, of like, no, don't exercise, no, don't do anything tough, because that might hurt you. Like, what the actual fuck? I don't get that. I really, for the life of me, do not understand that. Because, I mean, simple, hard truth, right? Very simple, very hard truth is if you are weak physically, you are weak mentally, and you are weak emotionally, you're a weak person. And what benefit are you providing people, right? And that's where we get a lot of, and I'm not saying like, you're worthless. No, I'm not saying that, because I think everybody's got the capability of being strong physically, mentally, and emotionally. So no, I'm not saying that, well, if you can't bench 300 pounds or something ridiculous, and you're not a real man, or, you know, if you can't take a punch in the face and not wince, then you're not a man. Like, no, not even, right? Those are ridiculous things, right? But when I say, the reason I say what benefit are you, the importance of that is that when they look at happiness, like what makes people genuinely happy and joyful in the long run, it's purpose, it's being useful, it's from contributing rather than consuming. Now think about that, because we live in a world now that it is consume to your heart's desire. Whatever it may be, just consume to your heart's desire. There's never too much. We've all but, thank you. We've all but gotten rid of the idea of gluttony. And yet, depression rates keep going, all these things keep going, and now studies have been coming out that are, hey, you know what, all these antidepressants, they're not actually working in the way that we thought they were working. We just kept pushing them on people. Now, I know that there's debate of like, well, yes, but they aren't saying that they don't work. They're just saying that the way that we thought they worked isn't how they actually work. True. But we also know that a large majority of medicine would just go away and not be needed if people would just eat healthier, exercise, and go the fuck outside. I mean, again, I don't know, I'm rambling now, and this is stuff that just makes me mad, because I don't blame the people who are struggling at all. I do not blame them at all for that. Who I blame is all of the leaders, like thought leaders, political leaders, business leaders. I blame the marketers. I blame all of these folks for pushing these ideas onto people and making them weaker. And look, I'm guilty of it too. Shit, I mean, let's be honest. If you compared me to my grandpa or my great-grandpa at my age, fuck. Could you imagine? Like, I am such a weak person comparatively. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to be stronger. I'm trying to be a better man. I'm trying to be a good man, like become the man that my future family and my current family deserves. Somebody who can lead society. Because as I mentioned back there, like the ancient, I didn't get into it, but I started to. This idea, and this isn't an ancient saying, but the ideas that it's based on are that, you know, hard times create strong men, and strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. I mean, think about that, right? Think about that. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. That's one of those things that you hear it and you're like, even if you don't want to admit it, you're like, fuck, yeah, that's true. That's true. I can't deny it, you know? So to me, it matters a lot, because I hear people all the time talk about, think of the children. They need to do this, or they need to make this happen, or you can't do this because think of the children. And it's like, but if we're just creating weak people, if we're allowing ourselves to be weak and to weaken and not be stronger, we create those hard times for the children. But we're really setting them up for failure. Because if we're not making them strong, then they got to learn to be strong the hard way. And it's not over time. It wouldn't be over time and, you know, with a parent or a community pushing them slowly to, hey, okay, you pass this test. Hey, step up, step up, step up to become the man or the woman that you should be. The strong man or woman, by the way. If we're not doing that, then us being weak are going to create the hard times. And I think honestly, when you look around, we already are. We're creating a lot of really hard times. And Gen Z, we're raising them to be weak. And again, I'm not blaming Gen Z. I've never liked hopping on the train of, oh, millennials this, oh, baby boomers that, oh, Gen Z this. Like, I've never been a fan of piling on. It's the same complaints that every generation had before, and it's just something that we do. But I don't go into that, right? But we're raising them to be weak, and we are weak. Hey, puppy dog. I like your dog, by the way. So we are creating these hard times and raising weak people. That's the generation Z, and whatever is going to be after Z. They're going to have to become tough. And they're going to have to learn it in very hard ways. I don't know. And who knows? Maybe this recession that we're now in, and with the wars going on, and wars that might be popping up between Taiwan or not Taiwan, the U.S. and China, or the world and China over Taiwan, you know, maybe these will be the hard times that'll force all of us to get stronger, and then we have to then figure out, how do we toughen up? I don't know. I really do believe that it's also an innate thing within all of us. I know the world tries to weaken people, but I don't buy into it that deep down we don't know. That's not what we're supposed to be. So I say don't cave to that. Don't give into that. All right, folks. So what's my message? Oh, the message to any of the male viewers is to be a good man. Be a strong man. Become one. We all start at zero. Don't look at somebody who you admire way down the way and think, why am I like this? No, start at 0, small steps, and you will get there too, 100%. And don't fall for the bullshit that they sell you as masculinity either, of like drinking beer and banging everybody. That's weak man shit. Don't fall for that. Whatever you do. Again, marketers. Fuck marketers, I'm telling you. My message to any of the female viewers is same to the men. Be good women. Be good and strong. We need you. It's not, can't do it alone, and don't listen to anybody who tells you that, oh, we can do it alone, or men are the only thing. No, for this world to thrive, for all of us to thrive as a species, as communities, we need strong men and we need strong women. And that's my advice to all of you. That's my plea to all of us, is to become strong. Without going into a whole other rant, because I gotta go. That's where I'm gonna leave everything at, folks. I appreciate all of you taking the time to listen, as always. I really do. Let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know your journey. I'll keep you up with my journey of becoming better, becoming stronger. But until next time, have a great day.